Hey Saiko! Do you want to go back in time to a prehistoric land in possibly a different universe where man and dinosaurs and aliens all coexisted in a brutally harsh but beautiful world? Then let's review Primal Planet. In Primal Planet, you play as the father of a small family of 3 trying to survive in a dangerous prehistoric world. The game starts off with the family intact. But early on, the mother and daughter fall victim to the harsh landscape. You see, in this world, not only do humans coexist with dinosaurs, but they're also being visited by aliens. And aliens are gonna do what aliens do, and that's kidnap specimens for research.
Alright, well now this missed me a little bit.
With his family taken, it's up to the father to track them down.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
But will he reach them in time? Is this a rescue mission or simply a quest for vengeance? Well, for that answer, you'll have to play the game and find out for yourself. No spoilers here. Primal Planet gives you a small but effective set of moves to navigate and survive its dangerous world. You can perform quick attacks with the dagger. This will be your primary means of attack as it's fast, does decent damage, and your dagger never breaks, so it's an unlimited use weapon. Once you gather up some materials, you can craft a spear, and the spear is cool. Not only can you use it for heavy attacks, but you can also light it on fire to create a torch, which can be used to burn away vines or ignite cauldrons strewn about the world. You can also toss your spear at enemies to deal heavy damage, and toss them into a wall to create a platform you can jump on to climb up high cliffs. The spear really is the Swiss Army knife of the Primal Planet world. It does many things and can get you out of many hairy situations. The only caveat is that the spear only has a limited amount of durability, so after some use, it will break. Fortunately, your little guy can carry more than one at a time, and they are relatively cheap in resources to craft. Another weapon in the Primal Planet arsenal are throwing darts composed of bones you gather from the dinosaurs you kill. I didn't find myself needing them much, I mostly stuck to the knife and spear for my combat needs, but if you prefer to fight your baddies from a distance instead of up close and personal, they could be the right weapon for you. Surviving the world of Primal Planet is no easy feat. Fortunately, it's a task you don't have to take alone. Throughout the game, you're accompanied by a little dino who fights alongside you through thick and thin. The little dino has its own life meter and moveset, but is controlled entirely by itself. And when its life meter reaches 0, it doesn't die, it just gets knocked out and automatically revives after a small cooldown period. I like this mechanic because it makes the dino companion a wholly positive experience. It doesn't slow you down, nor does it force you to use resources to keep it alive. It simply accompanies you on your journey and helps fight off the many dangers. And that's just how I like it. You can also be accompanied by human warriors. At first it's your wife and daughter. Your wife is an archer and offers great long distance combat support, and your daughter, well, she's just cute. But later on you can recruit other members of your tribe to join you temporarily in the fight. Once they're knocked out, they'll return back to your village. It's a nice feature, but I honestly didn't use it much. I never felt a need to have a villager fight along my side, but I did always appreciate the dino. My only critique with the companion system has to do with the daughter. The game has a cute mechanic that lets you pick up your daughter and hold her piggyback style as you move around. However, when holding her, you can't roll or dash because you'll immediately put her down if you do. It's a fun idea to be able to pick her up, but as far as I could tell, the game doesn't give you any perk or boost for holding her. I like the idea that holding her means you can't dash or roll, meaning you have to move through the world more carefully, but I feel that drawback should have come with a positive. Like maybe you could get double XP while holding her, or slowly heal, or deal double damage. I feel something gameplay wise should have improved to make up for the loss in movement. It would have symbolized that holding your daughter empowers you while also forcing you to be more careful, hence no rolling or dashing. Having this type of perk would have also made it more painful to us gamers when the daughter was taken, because not only are we sad that she's gone from a story perspective, but we'd also miss the gameplay buff she added. After all, losing the wife meant you lost an archer who helped with combat, but losing the daughter didn't change the game at all. This is definitely a small nitpick, but I feel it was a missed opportunity. The world is composed of large interconnected levels that you can freely explore. The size of each level can feel a little daunting at first, but the game provides you a handy-dandy local map which details the areas you've explored within that region, and a world map that shows you where you are in relation to the game's entire world. I will admit, I played a large portion of the game just running around discovering areas randomly, following any path that looked interesting and not really using the map system at all. But as I uncovered more and more of the world and found myself having to backtrack to previous areas to continue the story, I found the maps to be very helpful in keeping me from getting lost. My only nitpick on the mapping system is that it would have been nice for them to identify if an area was alien or not. You see, the majority of the game's world is set in prehistoric forests covered in ancient foliage, but every so often you do encounter a section of land taken over by the alien visitors. These areas are blanketed with metal walls and high-tech gadgetry, so up close it's easy to identify an alien area versus the regular wilderness. The problem is that the alien areas are indistinguishable from the normal landscape within the local or world map. This becomes an issue when you need to revisit an alien area to progress the game, but you have no idea where you last saw it and the maps don't help. Another mechanic to help you survive the wilds is Primal Planet's crafting and skill system. Throughout the world you'll find plants you can harvest, rocks to collect, bones to gather, and every large kill you make offers up a supply of fresh meat. With these materials and a little campfire, you can craft yourself some much needed supplies. You can cook meat that'll restore health, make antidotes for poison, and even create portable fire starter kits. You can also craft weapons like your spear and dino traps. The amount of things you can craft is limited, but each item is pretty useful, so it's a small but good list. Next up are your skills. Every kill you make earns you a little bit of XP, and enough XP earns you a skill point. You can use your skill points to unlock new crafting abilities, or to upgrade the stats of the father or his dino pal. It's a basic skill system, but it's effective. I found myself able to upgrade most of the stats I wanted, and each upgrade was noticeable in gameplay. When I maxed out my spear and knife damage, I did notice how much easier it was to down my foes, big and small. Unlike the pre-launch tour in Jurassic Park,
now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right?
Primal Planet is teeming with dinosauric life, big and small. You'll run into compies nibbling at your feet, raptors that hunt in packs, and even face off against huge dinos like the Allosaurus, the T-Rex, and the Spinosaurus. You can even dive underwater and confront sea creatures as deadly as anything found on land. It's exciting to adventure around Primal Planet, not knowing what deadly dinos await around the next corner. But the world isn't full of just carnivores, there's also gentle giants that will leave you alone unless you provoke them. Fleshing out the prehistoric landscape is a myriad of insects and smaller wildlife that help make Primal Planet feel alive. Battling these deadly creatures is both fun and exciting. My only complaint is during the boss encounters. Every so often you'll have to face and defeat a large enemy in order to move the story forward. Sometimes it might be a special creature you haven't seen before, but other times it's just a big dino you might have seen wandering around. It becomes a boss fight because you aren't allowed to leave the area until it's defeated, whereas normally you can just run away. I'm okay with the concept of these boss battles, but my critique is that the combat pattern needed to defeat the boss is the same one used to defeat that specific bad guy at any other point in the game. For instance, if you run into an Allosaurus in the wild and choose to fight it, the same combat pattern you used to defeat it when you randomly encountered it would be the exact same pattern you could use to defeat the Allosaurus if it was a boss encounter. And to me that misses the point of fighting a boss. Since boss fights trap you in an area you can't leave, I feel they could have made the encounters more elaborate and introduce all new attack patterns you'd have to learn in order to win. Again, this is not a big deal, there were only a few of these encounters throughout the entire game, but I feel they could have been much more engaging and exciting than they were. I have nothing but praise for how Primal Planet looks. I absolutely love the art style and the 2D sprite world. Each character is brought to life expertly with lovingly crafted pixel art and silky smooth animations. Whether on land or below water, the world teems with life that make each environment appear as a living ecosystem. The backgrounds of each level is crafted with layer upon layer of visual detail that adds a depth simulating parallax effect. I could keep going on about the graphics, but honestly, I'm not sure what more I could say other than the game looks great. If you like what you've seen in this review, you'll definitely enjoy all the visuals the game has to offer. I had a good time playing Primal Planet. The combat and controls are great, the Metroidvania-style world exploration and update system are solid, and the prehistoric world full of dinosaurs, enemy villages, and aliens is simply a wonderful setting to adventure in. It would have been nice if the mapping system helped identify the alien areas after they were discovered, as this would have helped with late game backtracking, and the boss battles could definitely use more refinement to make them more than just a regular fight. But these issues aside, I genuinely had a lot of fun exploring the world of Primal Planet, and so I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Navigating the dinosaur-filled landscape is lots of fun. Each zone has tons to explore and a large variety of life to encounter and fight. The crafting and skill system are perfectly suited for the size and scope of the game. If there were less to craft or upgrade, the system would have felt lacking, but likewise in reverse, if the crafting system were more elaborate, it would have felt too large given the size of the game. As it is, it matches the needs of the game's world, and that's exactly how it should be. The game never overstayed its welcome or felt exhaustive or repetitive. From start to finish, I genuinely enjoyed my time with the father, his family, and their little dino pal. Primal Planet is about as indie as an indie game can get. It was developed by Seething Swarm, an indie company composed of, from what I can tell, only one person. You heard me right. All the charm, all the fun, all the graphics and coding needed to make Primal Planet come to life was done by one developer / pixel artist. Now, based off the in-game credits, it does appear that several artists did help with the project overall, but according to the developer in his own words, Primal Planet was largely done as a solo project and took years to develop. And to that I say, congratulations on a job well done. Primal Planet is a great game, and it's inspiring to know that something like this can be created by the passion and enthusiasm of one person. It gives me hope for my future endeavors. So if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, if you love dinosaurs, or if you just want to support independent games and artists, I suggest you give Primal Planet a shot. It's a fun and sometimes touching romp through a prehistoric world with dinosaurs and aliens. And you know what? Who could ask for more?